In this video, we're going to be turning every single one of the ninja from LEGO Ninjago into Forbidden 5 members. Let's get to it. So let's start off with the basics. Who exactly are the Forbidden 5? The Forbidden 5 are 5 warlords with elemental powers who sought to conquer the realms thousands of years ago. The Forbidden 5 only wanted one thing: power, and they wanted to show off their power by killing people. And then Eagle and Rontu saw this and said, well, we can't have people running around committing mass genocide. So they went to Gandalaria, a witch who helped put the Forbidden 5 into nether space because apparently they were too strong to be kept in the cursed realm. And in Dragon's Rising Season 2 Part 2, 1.5 Forbidden 5 overpowered the games, took all the powers, and freed the rest of the Forbidden 5, leading to Dragon's Rising Season 3, where apparently their main goal is to free Thunderfang, a wannabe source dragon that got rejected. The Forbidden 5 consists of 5 main members, starting off with co-leader of the pack, Noct. Noct is the elemental master of brute force, is a wolf apparently, and was the first one out of nether space. He and the other Forbidden 5 mainly use the Shatter Spin technique to overpower the enemies. Now Noct also has a sister, Rox, who happens to be the other co-leader of the Forbidden 5. Allegedly, she is the elemental master of fear, while possessing magical capabilities that allow her to fly. The next Forbidden 5 member, Drix, the elemental master of Swarm, has literally the coolest element of the bunch, complemented with a very menacing bug design. Next up is Zark, the elemental master of misfortune. Yeah, you heard that right. He literally shoots balls of misfortune out of his hands, and if you touch it, you're cooked. And lastly, we got Kerr, who literally looks like he's the ability to kill people. Canonically, he is the elemental master of decay, and he features this really cool mummy design. So now we have to have the ninja take the places of the Forbidden 5 as the evil warlords with elemental powers. So how is this even going to happen? Now let's just say at the very beginning of Ninjago, with his evil blood, Garmadon overthrew Master Wu and got rid of him, and then made his own evil team of the ninjas, with this group being called the Nefarious Nines. Oh, and make sure to hit that subscribe button, because if you don't, Brickcyperator Man will come and break all your LEGO sets. But actually, we're trying to get to 20k, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. Starting off with our first ninja, Zane. Now, in Dragon's Rising Season 3, Zane's had 3 different variations. It is finally the main character on the Barks art, which hasn't happened forever. So, in celebration of his importance, we're going to start off with him. Now, while shirtless Zane might be intimidating enough, we still need to give this dude a figure. So let's start off with giving him the pants from an Endgame minifigure, Ant-Man. Ant-Man's pants are actually really solid because they have a darker color scheme to them, making it cool for a villain. Now for the arms, I wanted to do something a little bit more interesting of Benshone Warrior's arms. I noticed that Kerr has these like kind of mummy looking things to show his decay, and Drix had these like wasp horns sticking out of his chest to show his elemental swarms. Similarly, I want to do something with Zane and make it so that his ice is on the outside. Next, I decided to give this minifigure a full-on Noct combo with this armor as well as this mask piece. And lastly, I decided to finish it off with this gray hat piece that I took from the LEGO Ninjago Battle Arena set. And now we have to do the weapons, and so we could do shurikens, but instead I want to do something a little bit more interesting. While Zane has been using shurikens since God knows how long, like what, the pilots, and he's still using them in Dragon's Rising, he actually took a break from his shurikens and actually picked up a bow and arrow, and he did this in Season 8. It was mainly a movie thing that carried on to the show, and bows can be really customizable and creative, so I started mine off with a glizzy, and then I complemented it with these robotic arm pieces to give it its bow shape. Next up, I got those Infinity Stone holder pieces because I don't know what else to call them. Placed it onto a chain and then placed it onto a bow. Now this is really cool because you can actually stick a katana in there and it kind of looks like an arrow that is going through the bow. And yeah, I think this makes it the perfect bow and arrow. As for Forbidden Zane, Zane now won't be the one always in the cages, he's going to be the one that's putting people in the cages. And this is the Forbidden Zane minifigure done with all the coloring. You can literally see the ice flow through his body, and his eyes now red with his corrupted Shatter Spin. If you like to do stop motion animation or like to voice act, we have the perfect Discord server for you. Not only does everyone give each other a bunch of animation tips and Mechabricks tips, we also post these cool collabs that you might have seen. So make sure to hit that link in the description to join our community. Now moving on to the Elemental Master of Life. He's mean, he's green.
Lloyd? That's right! It's me, your son! And it's Lloyd, Dad!
No. Lloyd. I named you.
You ruined my life!
How could I ruin your life? I wasn't even there!
Lloyd being a member of the Forbidden 5 would go crazy, so I started him off with a Shark Army Thug pants because those are pretty cool. Next up for the torso, I wanted to do something a bit more adventurous, so I chose the Mandalorian armor because it has this really cool side printing that can be very useful for the figure. And that utility belt looks so cool. For the armor, I decided to go with this armor piece that was introduced in Day of the Departed, but specifically the one from Season 8 because that's gunmetal instead of brown. Now, I'm actually pretty happy with this minifigure, but as per usual, we have to make him go bald, so we have to give him a hat because all the Forbidden 5 are bald apparently. And lastly, for the mini mask on this minifigure, I decided to go with a more darker shade of green, which actually appeared in the Moro minifigure. And that's not the only thing I'm taking from Moro. I have decided to go with this sword for Lloyd's sword. And if you think you recognize it, it's because it's the Sword of Sanctuary from Season 5 that can see the fates or see the future as reflected in its blade. And if you remember your Season 5, Moro did wield this blade. And so this is my final Lloyd minifigure. He actually has a dark green hat as well as some light green pants. Oh, and if you care, his pants are dual molded now. Also, by the way, every single year LEGO makes 6 different advent calendars, but they still don't make Ninjago. Heck, Disney Mini Dolls has an advent calendar. So make sure to go hit the support on my LEGO Ideas project so they can actually become real sets. And if you don't have one already, it only takes 1 minute to make a LEGO account, and it's something that you definitely should have as a Ninjago fan. Next up, we got Nia, the Elemental Master of Water, aka the GOAT. She has so many cool LEGO minifigures. Nia always hits it out of the park when it comes to her suits. So I most definitely had to start off with the legs of one of those Nia minifigures, that being the Island Nia's legs. For her torso piece, I decided to go with this Mr. Freeze torso because it looks really cool. And I also complemented it with arms of interchanging colors. Next, I took Sora's bandana piece from like the Season 1 minifigure, the head and hair combo from the tournament minifigure, and then placed it on the minifigure to finish off my Forbidden Nia. However, she does have to go bald like the rest of the Forbidden 5 members, and what better hat to use than Jade? And so now we just need a weapon for this minifigure. I decided to start off with a Quaste piece at the end. I also had this crown thingy to act as a part of the trident. I put it all together and then put some water on top of it. And then here we have the ultimate Nia trident. This is supposed to be very powerful. You can see it has 5 prongs at the very top and still has water in it. Now for Nia, I personally already liked all of her coloring, so all I did was make some of her powers light blue. Our next Elemental Master happens to be called the Elemental Master of Earth. First things first, my favorite weapon ever. I started with the bottom of this Technoblade piece. Then I took a handle piece and this like lava piece, and then I took more lava pieces with a skate at the end. This is important because it goes there. And then I got this snot jumper brick and then placed it over there, and then capped it off with another piece of lava at the very end with a curved slope, making one of the coolest weapons I think I've ever made, and I absolutely love it. Now my general idea was to make Cole a bit of a robber, so you can see I started off with these Mr. E Lego pans, and then I put on the Stone Army torso turned over backward. Yes, this is the Stone Army torso. And then for the armor, I took Cole's armor from the new season, put on an orange headpiece, and then made this custom hat using clay, and then put it onto my Cole minifigure. Now it's definitely not perfect, but I think it's pretty solid for a custom. So yeah, he has this full robber kind of uniform with his custom hat to like sneak in and sneak out. As for the final drawing, I pretty much kept everything the same, just added some orange to places, and then also made his hood a light orange glowing visor. Next up we have Sora, the Elemental Master of Technology. She has this kind of 5 on her uniform, which I thought was kind of funny. Like, is she working for the Forbidden 5 or something? But no, the Forbidden 5 symbol is different. I still kind of find it funny why she has a 5 when all the other ninja have Source Dragon symbols. Anyway, I decided to start her off by giving her these skate pieces. Those skate pieces look like the underside for a micro car or one of those mouse droids from Star Wars. For the legs on this minifigure, I use She-Hulk's legs because they are very, very detailed. And then for the torso, I decided to take this Ghost Warrior piece. For the armor, I decided to take Drix's armor piece. And then for the head, I did this combo with the hat and her ninja mask, and this is the final minifigure. Now I also did want to give her weapons, and this is a staff with these like kind of pink tech crystals on both sides, so that way she can hit anyone and electrocute them. And then I also gave her this little device so she can like see the upcoming battle or something like that. She's pretty much supposed to be the technical support for the Nefarious 9. This is the final minifigure, with main changes being some coloring on the torso as well as the legs. Next up we have Aaron, the Elemental Master of well, nothing. But do you know what he's actually good at? Object Spinjitzu and using grappling hooks. So I decided to combine these two and make an ultimate grappling hook that actually uses Object Spinjitzu as torque on the arrow to make it a lot stronger. This is my full built gun powered by Object Spinjitzu, and you can also see the sword I made that also can be powered by Object Spinjitzu. Pretty much you just kind of like throw it like that. The curvature on the sword is to help it turn and become a little Spinjitzu. Personally, I think the Eren from Dragon's Rising Season 3 is absolutely perfect for an evil variant of the Eren minifigure. However, we have to make a figure, so I decided to start off with these Moon Knight leg pieces. This Moon Knight minifigure has some amazing leg printing. So for the minifigure, I decided to take the new torso from the new Season 3 Eren, as well as the Lady Iron Dragon armor piece. This is the Lady Iron Dragon for the Ninjago movie. And then for the hat, I decided to do this kind of parabola thing. It's about the same size as a Wu hat, and it was used in one of those Star Wars bounty hunters, so that's where I got the idea. And yeah, that is pretty much the figure. Now, equipped with the weapons, he is ready to destroy any ninja that stands in his way as Forbidden Eren. For this minifigure, I didn't change too much. I just gave him red eyes and also colored his legs to be the proper colors. Next up, we got the Elemental Master of Fire, Kai. Now, Kai going evil would also be something really crazy. So let's start off by giving him a Wu Crew leg piece. Yeah, this is the leg piece from those Wu Crew figures from 2018. And then for his torso, it's actually a custom torso with a Kai fire symbol. And then I also gave him this armor that has one pad, and then gave him his head with his mask. Lastly, I gave him this Rocks hat that was used in the actual Forbidden 5. Now I also gave him this hat because Nia used it, and I thought it'd be cool if both of them had it together. For the sword, I used an illegal building technique to connect these two pieces, and yeah, here is the full minifigure for Forbidden Kai. You can see that most of this minifigure is a bit more colored in, and you can see his hat is brown instead of dark blue. Next up, we have the Elemental Master of Lightning, Jay. And now, while Jay has an amazing rogue suit, it is time to give him an official Forbidden 5 minifigure. It's really cool how this minifigure actually has the initials Rogue and Jay on it. For this minifigure, I decided to start off with the Mandalorian's legs as the base, and then put on an SOG torso on top of this minifigure with gunmetal gray arms. I also put on this black armor, and then gave him this custom hat piece that's actually a custom hat piece from Naruto. And then for this minifigure, I also gave him these really cool nunchucks. Now, how I made these nunchucks were using 2 wrenches, put them onto these chain, and then like capped it off with a stone holder piece. And that concludes it for Jay's weapon. Here is how he looks with the coloring. You can see that his head got the full coloring it needs to like actually make sense. And lastly, to end this video off, we have the last member of the Nefarious 9, Wildfire. Now for Wildfire, I decided to start off with her weapon, and the show she doesn't actually have a weapon, so I made a custom weapon for her. Pretty much what I did was I took this thing with like 3 fire pieces on top of it, and then I put it onto a staff, which became the final minifigure's weapon. It's like good to like attack people with, and I also added a bit of light blue in it to show her heat powers. Then for the legs, I took these legs from the Girl Hawkeye minifigure, the Kate Bishop minifigure, and then I also took this torso from a guy from the Shark Army, the arms from Deadshot, and then for the Rocky armor, I decided to take the Rocky armor from Ultraviolet and then put on a Wildfire head as well as a conical hat, and that is the full minifigure. Now for the art and design, I didn't color too much, I just colored up her torso, but that is pretty much it for this minifigure. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. It's been a while since I've done content, so I'm happy to get back to it. Yeah.